kids, welcome back to another question and answer on the channel. Today we're going to be covering a bunch of really important stuff, and I'm going to be telling you guys about my new book, which is coming out next month, called Dandelion Audit. It's book 2 in the debt collection, and I'm also going to let like 200 to 300 of you read it early for free. So stick around. I'm going to explain how you guys can get a chance to read it early, but we'll cover that kind of in the Q&A section. As always, if you guys want to do more videos like this, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing the channel. Your support is how I get to do what it is. Now let's talk about my last book, Soul Fraud. Somehow, if you guys missed it, this is the new version of Soul Fraud, the book that I came out with last year. If you guys missed it, somehow you live on a rock. Soul Fraud is the story about Matthew Carver. He is a young man with a terrible life who is approached by a demon on his birthday, and the demon says, "Hey, we can give you a perfect life for 10 years in exchange for your soul." And Matt says, "No, thank you. That's a really bad deal. Pass." The demon, his name is Dan, has a little bit of a breakdown. He's behind on his quota. He's under a lot of pressure from his bosses, and he forges Matt's signature on the contract. Runs off into the night, and Matt's life suddenly gets significantly better. Crazy things start happening to him. He's like, "Uh-oh, I think I need to figure out how to get my soul back." So he has to set off on an adventure to figure out how to get his soul back. It's called Soul Fraud. This is the new cover done by Chris McGrath, who is a freaking legend, who has done Brandon Sanderson covers, has done Dune, Halo, Dresden Files, a bunch of other stuff that I love in between, and he was kind enough to work with us on this, and it just looks freaking incredible. So as I promised, I am going to let about 200 to 300 of you read Dandelion Audit first, but first, let's add some questions, and I'll explain that as we go. Rivers Witness 6293 says, what were some of the inspirations for the characters? What was your favorite chapter to write? What was the most difficult chapter to write? Which is your favorite character to write, and who feels the easiest to write? And do I have a favorite relationship, romantic or platonic, between the characters? That's a lot of questions, but they're all amazing questions. I think Alex has a little bit of like Peter Parker in him. He's got a little bit of that sort of like goofy, wants to do good, but it's kind of pulled in a lot of directions sort of thing. My favorite chapter to write was the Minotaur charging through the hallway, or through chasing him through the office. That was that one was in my head for a long time. The most difficult chapter to write, probably one of the scenes with Connor and Violet, because I wanted it to feel normal, but it was so juxtaposed from the rest of the story, which was the point, that it was hard. And I think those are the chapters that I maybe struggled with the most. Who's my favorite character to write? Orion, for sure. Well, in book 1 it's Orion. In book 2 it changes. I will answer that question again after book 2 comes out. Who feels the easiest to write? Lilith was actually kind of easy to write for me. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but I found Lilith pretty easy to write because she was just so evil and manipulative. I always knew what she wanted to do, and that was pretty easy. Do I have a favorite relationship? I mean, Matt and Alex's banter is a lot of fun, and I think it really grows in book 2. So that's definitely my favorite. Although, again, there's another relationship that begins in book 2 that is maybe my favorite to write, and my favorite. But Matt and Alex will always be top 2 for me. User UL8JX9STS7X says, as a fellow swimmer and person who likes to write books, I have a few questions. What's the full Michael Phelps story? Come on, man, I gotta know. You can't just keep mentioning it and not saying it. 2, and this is the more important one, when you come to a place where you have writer's block, how do you get over it? How do you get around it and continue to be able to work on your book? Okay, so the first one, what's the Michael Phelps story? For those of you who don't know, I was a competitive swimmer when I was younger. I started competitive swimming when I was 8. I swam competitively till I was 18. Some of the kids that I trained with have gold medals now. Shout out Jimmy Fegan. Some of the kids I trained with are married to Olympic swimmers. Shout out Annie Chandler. She should have gone to the Olympics. That's a whole nother story. I also raced Michael Phelps once. I raced Michael Phelps in the 200 individual medley in 2007, I believe, 2006 or 2007, right before the Beijing Olympics, where he won 8 gold medals. Every gold medal in every event he swam in, setting the record. So basically, I raced Michael Phelps just at his absolute peak of his career. Like, he hadn't lost a race in years. He was dominant. I qualified for a meet called the American Short Course Championships, which was held in Austin, Texas that year, which was right by where I live, at the University of Texas pool, which is one of the best pools in the country. I competed in that event. I did not do as well as him. Also at that event, I can't remember, was that another event or another one? I raced Cullen Jones in the 100-meter freestyle, who was one of the members of the 4x100 freestyle relay, the legendary one that saved his chance to get gold medal. I raced... oh gosh, what was the big breaststroker's name back there? I want to say Moses something, Aaron Moses maybe. I raced Aaron Moses in the 100 breaststroker. He destroyed me. I mean, these guys were the best of the best, and I was a 17 or 18-year-old high schooler who was decent. But it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. It was really cool to watch those guys do what they do. It was a lot of fun. As far as overcoming writer's block, here's what I'll say. When I'm stuck, I do 2 things. If I'm stuck on a scene, I sit down and I write down the name of every single person who's in the scene, and I write one sentence about what they're trying to accomplish. What are their goals? What are their dreams? What do they want out of this? And that helps me unravel things. The other thing that I do is I have a word count that I try to hit every day. And when I'm stuck, I allow myself not to hit it, but I still put in the same amount of time that I normally would. And I just pick at it. I pick at it until I find the vein, and then I let myself follow it. And when I know I'm writing a chapter that I'm struggling with, I let myself know at the beginning that I might throw the whole thing away, but I'm just going to try something. And when I give myself that freedom to it, that it doesn't have to be perfect, that's usually when I find my way out of being stuck. Kahaka Kusagi says, I probably horrifically butchered that. What was your inspiration for the whole series? Personal preference or something you've always wanted to write about or loved? Is it your favorite genre? Do you have ideas for other stories in different genres? If so, would you tie them into the Soul Fraud series? That's a great question. My inspiration for the whole series, we're gonna break down a wall real quick. So I don't know if on the main channel you guys have seen this very often. This is what's behind my green screen. My books. Well, not mine, the books that I read. Woo! This right here is The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, which is probably one of the best urban fantasy series ever written. If you take a look at the covers, you may recognize Chris McGrath's work. I'm that much of a fan. We got the same guy to do this. He writes a series called The Dresden Files, which is about a wizard private eye who lives in Chicago. I started reading it when I was in college. I thought it was awesome. It really opened my eyes to how cool urban fantasy could be. I also loved the TV show Supernatural. I love taking like myths and ideas that we're familiar with and then twisting them and making them different. And then after I graduated college, I was a corporate salesman, and somebody did that. We all got called in one day because a guy who didn't work at our like company, but like one of the sister companies, basically got caught signing contracts for his clients, thinking they wouldn't notice that he was going to charge them for like thousands and thousands of dollars. And everyone was like, "Don't do that." I mean, duh, right? But that immediately, I always had this idea. I wanted to have this guy who had to figure out how to get his soul back and sort of get caught into this thing. I wanted hell to be like very corporate and everything. And that was like, I was like, oh, I couldn't figure out how to make him make the deal without him making a deal and therefore being a loser. And that was it. That was the answer. And that kind of cascaded everything from there. All right, I'm gonna put this up because it looks weird. It's too white. Ooh, Echo Draws Things But Not Really says, I'm reading Dandelion Audit right now from the Give Reads giveaway, and it's so good. How do you think of your ideas for writing and getting inspiration? Do you think you're gonna continue Camp Minecraft or season 4 The Last? Are you ever gonna get any pets? My questions are scattered, but if you see this, have a good day. Diphthong guy. Ooh, nice. That's a reference. So, if you guys don't know, I'm gonna explain how you guys can read Dandelion Audit early as well. If you guys don't know, Give Reads is my book writing YouTube channel. It's spelled just like that. You can find it. It's where I talk about reading, writing books, all that kind of stuff. It's more of like a vlog hangout channel. There's no video games, basically. But if you guys are into books and stories and you want to know more about mine, you should go follow it. Also, we're doing what's called an ARC giveaway. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. It means you can get a copy of the book before it comes out. And I'm going to give away about 200 or 300 of them digitally for you guys for free. So here's the big news. First of all, Dandelion Audit's available for pre-order. Not only is it available for pre-order, it's coming out in about 3 weeks. It comes out on Wednesday, October 18th. I know. It's finally happening. It's finally happening. So if you go to the description, first of all, you can pre-order it on Kindle and on Audible. If you guys would do that, that is a huge deal. Launch is a big deal for like Amazon. Just like when a new video comes out, the more people who run to get it, the more excited YouTube is, the more they share it. Amazon's the same way with books. So if you guys really want to help me grow this book thing and get people excited about it, go pre-order it on Kindle or go pre-order it on Audible. Both those links will be in the description below. Now, number 2, you'll see there's a link to a Google form. If you go fill it out, I'm going to pick, depending on how many of you guys sign up, at least 200, maybe 300 of you to read it early. But here's what we need. If you do read it early, I'm looking for people who will go review it on Goodreads. Don't review it if you haven't read it, okay? We're not trying to cheat the system, but you're allowed to review early if you get an early copy. So if you read it, go do it. And then when the book comes out on October 18th, if you will go and review it on Amazon right when you get your digital copy or whatever right away, if we get a ton of reviews day 1, Amazon loves that. So that's how you guys can help me. And I'm gonna let you guys read it early and see what you think. Anyway, how do I get my idea for writing? I never answered. I'm so sorry, Echo. How do I get my ideas? So I use the Stephen King method, which he describes in his book called On Writing, which is basically I ask questions and then I have my characters I understand my characters. And so when we get stuck, I ask myself, what does that character want? What will they do? And we follow it. And that's how it gets kind of twisty, because every character needs to have its own goal and its own dream, even if they're not on screen or on the page, And so that's how we push things forward and why it gets the way that it does. I would like to continue Camp Minecraft in season 5. We will see. Not everybody loves doing SMPs anymore. I really do. So my hope is to continue, but everybody wants a little break, I think, and then maybe we'll come back to it. Wither Skeleton says, out of everyone you record with, who's actually the funniest on or off camera? Nico might be the funniest off camera. Biffle might be the funniest on camera. Lucas Keefe says, do you ever plan on switching up who you make videos with, or perhaps adding new people to the gang? I know you guys have been together forever. I don't know if we... it's not really that organized. I would always be down to record with more people occasionally, but I love the dudes that I make videos with. And if the thing about working together is, right, we all have to record videos, right? So every day we make like a video for Sigils, a video for Sunny, a video for Biffle, a video for Zud, or like 2 videos for somebody because they're gonna be gone. The more people you add, the less time you have. So we don't have a lot of room for more people, if that makes sense, to like have a normal work day. But you know, I'm always open to record with other people. Has6964 says, this question depends on the amount of characters in the book, but how do you keep track of all your characters in your books, especially from one book to the next? You know, honestly, that's something I'm still learning and practicing and talking to other authors about. But what I do have is any character that is going to appear more than once, I literally have just a spreadsheet, and it's organized by like organization, who they work with, you know, supernatural species, etc., so that I can kind of sort and look through things quickly. But that way I can check like, oh, I said their eyes were brown, I said, you know, that kind of stuff, and I just keep it categorized. And I maybe don't update it while I'm writing a book, but when I finish a book, I make sure to put it all there so that if I reference a character to things later, I have it ready to go. Maxwell says, are there going to be more books after this one? If so, how many are you planning to release? Another question is, what happened to the Rustic Water series? There are going to be a lot more books after this. That actually has to do with the announcement I'm going to make at the end. Again, stick around. I'm going to end this video with another announcement, but don't forget to go fill out the form so you guys can read Dandelion Audit early and pre-order to help me make this book make its money back. I don't know how many books will be in the debt collection per se. I want to guess maybe like 7 to 8, but that's not a hard fast number. I do know how the series ends, but I kind of don't know how much space it's going to take for us to deal with all the things in the middle, if that makes sense, right? There's some stuff we're still figuring out, still working through. I know what's going on and how it ends, but I don't know when we're going to get there. Other than that, I have another series I want to write. I may start writing them at the same time. I'll talk about that more later. Oh, as far as Rustic Water goes, the series just really did poorly. It was not doing well on the channel, and that's why I stopped. I had fun with it, but I was also hoping that like Biffle and Zud and some of them would join in, but they didn't want to, so I gave up. All right, Tyler Lowe's not let me get away with this. He said, do you have plans for a different series? If so, any idea what it'll be about? If not, how long do you plan for the current one to be, and keep up the hard work? Well, I already answered, like, I'm not entirely sure exactly how long it'll be, but there are going to be a lot more books. I do want to do another series. Well, I want to do several more series, but the next one that I know that I want to do is a sort of Roman-inspired progression fantasy with a lot of intrigue and betrayal. And I may start writing that after I finish writing book 4 of the debt collection as a little break. Or I might go right into book 5 and then write it later. I haven't decided yet, but I do think that there's a chance that these series may start running concurrently, but my goal is to do more than 1 book a year moving forward. I know it's been over a year since the first book came out, but there was a good reason. Saiyan Goddess says, how long does it take you to write a book? Like the whole process? I'm getting better at it. Every time I do it, I'm getting faster and faster. Right now, my goal is to write about 2,000 words a day, and my novels tend to be somewhere around 110 to 120,000 words. So that takes roughly a little more than 2 months to write the draft. Now, things happen, right? You get sick, you get busy, you miss some days. So really, I haven't quite managed to bring a draft in under 3 months yet, but like that's probably about how long it takes. And then you go through some revisions, right? You send it out to your alpha readers. They probably take about a month. They get back to you with feedback. You work through that. You send it to your beta readers. They get back to you. You go through some feedback. Then you send it to your copy editor, your line editor, or your editor. And you do a line edit and a copy edit. One is like more about content, and one is more about like specific detail of words, absence of content. You go through both those passes, then you go to a proofreader. Both of the first pass, the copy edit, that's usually about a month, maybe a month and a half, and then you have another, a couple weeks to go through feedback. Then the line edit is about half the time, and then you run through the feedback again. Then you go to the proofer, who can take 2 to 3 weeks. Then you go through and you adjust any of that, and then you give it to the narrator. And generally when you go through with narration, you find some things that just sound weird, some stuff, so you make some other small tweaks as you go, but really minor stuff. And that can take another month or so to run through, maybe 2, to do back and forth, edits, changes, polishes, and then you're done. And then you figure out how to release it. That's basically the process. And speaking of that, there's something I need to tell you guys. I wrote a 3rd book. So the reason that Dandelion Audit didn't come out right away was because my friend suggested that I kind of stop making you guys wait and give you a whole bunch of stuff all at once. So on October 18th, Dandelion Audit's coming out. Please go pre-order it on Kindle and Audible. Seriously, makes a huge deal. If you guys don't have Audible, but you have Prime, I think you get a free sign-up bonus where you can get a book for free your first month. You use my link. It is a huge help if you do that. Month after, November 15th, book 3 is coming out. Yeah, it's done. I'm going to be releasing book 3 called Star Summit a month after Dandelion Audit comes out. So here's what I need you guys to get really freaking excited for the 2 books back to back this year. I'm already halfway done writing book 4, so hopefully we'll get book 4 early next year, maybe like around April, maybe for my birthday. That'd be fun, but no promises, but that's my goal. Star Summit book 3 of the deck collection is coming out in November, so if you guys want early access to that, we're gonna do that again. So sign up now. Make sure to fill out the form. I will choose 200 to 300 of you to read Dandelion Audit early. Leave reviews, get people hyped about it, and then the book comes out. Make sure to leave those reviews. We'll talk about it. I'll be really annoying, don't worry. After that comes out, I'm gonna let another 200 to 300 of you read Star Summit early. So if you don't win the first one, you have a chance to win the next one. Get hyped about it. We're doing this again. I can't wait for you guys to read this story. The story gets so much bigger, so much better. The reviews already say that I became a better writer writing Dandelion Audit than Soul Fraud, which it was my first book. I was learning. So I can't wait for you guys to see where the story goes. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for letting me pursue my dreams, for being a part of it. I appreciate you all so much. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave the comments down below. I'll be reading and writing in them, and let's do this. It's gonna be fun.